Hi everyone, my name is Kyle. I'm putting together a list of my favorite films since the time I was born. You can go back to the first video to see why and how I've put this list together. But today we've come to number 37, The Birdcage. I have to be honest in that this is a film that I grew into loving. I of course adored Robin Williams. I was this burgeoning theater geek, so I knew who Nathan Lane was, and I loved him too. But because gayness, queerness, LGBTQ was just not something that was super talked about when I was growing up, this felt almost like naughty to be watching. It still felt like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be watching this. But I did. And I knew it was funny when I first watched it, but it's only increased its comedic value as I've grown up, and I just appreciate it even more so now. One, because I do think it's important to show that there's different types of being gay. Of course, Nathan Lane is playing the very over-the-top, effeminate person, but Robin Williams is not. He is not playing a caricature of a gay man like he could have done. They show the empowerment of drag performances inside of this film. So I think it's very subtly able to, even however many years later, 30 plus years later, become like even more relevant than it was when it first came out. I will say, I do think the secret weapon in this movie is Gene Hackman, who is like the very like conservative senator, like upholding traditional family values. He is able to sell the comedy beats because he plays it so straight, and you need that straight man for the comedy to actually land. There's a story that has been adapted so many times. There was the original French film, was adapted into a musical in the 80s called La Cage aux Folles, then adapted into The Birdcage, but directed by Mike Nichols, who had this wonderful career in the theater as well as in film. He's directed some of my very favorite films of all time. But since I was born, this is my favorite film that he ever brought out. I know like some of the criticism that gets leveled at it nowadays is the son character and how we're supposed to feel about him. My own personal impression is I think we are supposed to think of the son as kind of being awful to force his parents to put on this facade of, acting straight. I think we're supposed to, by the end, understand that the theme is you should be able to act as yourself, that all these supposed societal norms are just random stuff that people make up. They're not real. Anyways, it's a film that I really, really adore. Like I said in our previous video, I just love comedies. What's your favorite Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Mike Nichols? Let me know in the comments. And tomorrow, we get into some horror.
You do fussy, fussy, fussy. You do Martha Graham, Martha Graham, Martha Graham.